So in this video, we're going to explore why New Year's resolutions don't work. Now, I'm not against positive change, and I'm not against people trying to achieve that positive change. I'm not necessarily against New Year's resolutions. I suppose what I have issue with is how they're promoted by certain organisations and individuals, and also how the people who have set themselves New Year's resolutions approach them. Normally, a resolution is short-lived, and it doesn't always promote that sustainable behavioural change that someone needs in order to keep on that habit or remain healthier. Normally, resolutions are undertaken for one of two reasons. It's to be healthier, or it's to be challenged. Or it could be a mixture of the two. So a health challenge could be something like giving up drinking for January. You know, there's plenty of dry January initiatives out there. Or to be challenged could be something like to run or be active every day for a month. Or it could be longer than a month. Because you might set yourself a longer term goal. But generally, the New Year's resolutions that people try to put in place, they're short-lived, and they are for that finite time of January or a couple of weeks or something along those lines. And this is why people generally fail in them. Their resolution to begin with is unrealistic given their current situation. So what I mean by that is an individual might decide to eat healthier, give up drinking, or even be active, but the run up to that point where they make the change doesn't promote or prepare them for it. So for example, every year people start Christmas probably the first couple of weeks of December. They probably eat slightly different to how they would for the rest of the year. They might drink a little bit more, they might be less active. And then come the 1st of January, they're making a change where they're trying to be, well, they're trying to cut everything out, or they're trying to be more active. And it's too much of an unrealistic goal to begin with, because it's too much of a change too soon. People don't understand their starting point or their baseline. They don't understand where they are and the end point of what they want to achieve. If anything, they need to prepare beforehand and they need to build up. Plus, they don't plan what they hope to do. So they haven't thought about, all right, if I'm going to run every day, what does that look like? You know, am I aiming to do 1 mile, 5 kilometers? Have I been running regularly before? Is my body ready for it? When am I going to run? Am I going to give myself enough time to recover in between? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself. Also, people generally tend to do a multiple change at once. So what I mean by that is they might eat healthier, they might cut out alcohol, they might try and give up smoking, and they might be more active, or a combination of them. And sometimes that's too much too soon. We've mentioned it already, but it can often be short-term as well, or too short-term to make any positive impact. So you might actually achieve what you hope to achieve by no drinking in January, but then you have a massive bender in the first weeks of February because you're rewarding yourself, but you're just going to slip back into old habits. And habits are important. In order to form a new habit, it takes time. There was a 2009 study taken by Harvard which looked at a number of initiatives out there and how long it took the individuals to make a positive change. So it took individuals between 18 and 254 days to form a new habit. And what's important is, in order to break an old habit, you need to form a new one. So this study looked at all the different aspects of the initiatives that were out there, and they concluded that it took on average about 66 days to form a new habit. And I'm not necessarily saying that is an addictive habit, but if you want to eat a bit healthier, you want to drink less, it's going to take time to get there. Plus, if you want to be more active, you've got to look at changing the way that you've done things. What you need to do is make it less effort by reducing the cognitive load. So what I mean is that you're not thinking about what you used to do or what you're changing. You're thinking about how the new thing that you're trying to form. We mentioned it already, but focus on one goal at a time. So if you've got an overall outcome, goal, and that might be to be healthier. But in order to do that, you might sign up for a 5k run, where you've got to build up and get to these different milestones before you can achieve that overall goal. Within that as well, you might want to think, okay, I need to get my running fitness up, but I would like to maybe drink less and eat healthier as well. But again, don't tackle these all at once. Get to milestones and then stop thinking, okay, how can I drink a little bit less now in the next few weeks? The other thing you can do is write it down and share it with individuals. By writing it down and giving yourself a goal and then sharing it with others around you, people understand what you're trying to achieve and people will support you along the way. We've mentioned it that people start at a baseline where they have zero or a very poor starting point. So think about how you prepare yourself to tackle that resolution. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you are going to do a challenge, which is a run every day challenge for a month, that's fine, because that's the challenge and that's what you're hoping to achieve. But maybe start running a bit more in the weeks leading up to that. Maybe have the odd training sessions where you run one day and then you run the next. Your body's getting used to that load that's on it. Think about when it comes to the challenge as well, then when you're going to run, and possibly even stick to the same running times every day, which gives yourself enough time to recover, or the maximum amount of time you can recover. Because if you run one evening today and then the next day you were running in the morning, you're not giving yourself enough time or recovery. Think about your barriers to achieving your resolution as well, and where are the pinch points? Where are the points that you're going to find it difficult? If you are giving up alcohol, well, what happens to that Friday night where you meet your mates for a pint? Are you still going to do that, or are you going to come maybe suggest some other form of meetup? It all depends on what you're trying to achieve, but think about what's stopping you achieving it. Sort of touched on the topic already. Maybe even do it with others. Ask others around you to join you, and if there is no one around you that can give you that support, or maybe even give you the knowledge, especially if it's a challenge like a running or a triathlon challenge, maybe join a club and get their support on it as well, get their experience. We've mentioned it, but make sure you focus on recovery if it's an actual challenge or a running race or anything like that, because you need to maximize your recovery. And also review what you're doing, because you constantly need to look at where you are in order to plan the next stage. So at the end of every week, how has that last week gone? What's been the difficult points? What's been the bits you can sort of really you celebrate and you look at the successes? So to recap, know your starting point. In order to get to start the whatever the resolution is, make sure you're ready for it. Be realistic with your outcome. If you want to get to that end point, that's fine, but either give yourself enough time to get there or know your limitations. Plan ahead, so you work out your milestones, what you're hoping to achieve. There's the end point, but how do you get there? What's the journey? And then constantly review. And change if you need to. If something isn't working, you need to really look at how you change it. So you need to ensure that you get to that end point, and you can't follow a roadmap which isn't taking you there. So don't be afraid to change. Anyway, I hope that's helped. Don't be afraid to hit us up on social media, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us grow as a channel, and also let us know if you want any particular type of video. Okay, cheers guys.